Okay. My name is Carlton Cartwright. I'm the founder and the executive director of the Children's Coalition Incorporated. And we are here today at the Veterans Affairs Medical Center in West Palm Beach. And the young lady that we are interviewing, her name is?
Marethia Williams.
There we go. Okay, Miss Williams. And I need to know, what is your date of birth?
May 1st, 1953.
And where were you born?
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
Okay. And what is your address?
5125 Vauxhall Drive North, West Palm Beach, Florida, 33417.
Okay, and what branch of the service were you in?
Army Nurse Corps.
Okay.
I'm still in.
Oh, are you really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in the reserves.
Oh, you're in, okay.
I'm in the reserves.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And were you drafted or did you enlist?
I enlisted.
Right. And where were you living at the time?
In Lexington, Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is that where you were born?
No. Born in Hopkinsville, went to Lexington to go to school, graduated from the University of Kentucky.
Okay.
Nursing program.
Mm-hmm. Why did you join?
We have a long family history of military people. My uncle's in, my brother's in. I have an auntie that was in the Navy, and I wanted to travel, and that was a good way to travel, even though I joined at an old age.
How old were you, 20-something?
36.
Really?
36, yeah.
What?
They were taking nurses up to 52 when I joined. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Had a 52-year-old in my OBC class.
Extraordinary.
Yes.
I had no idea.
Yes.
All right, learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why did you pick that service branch?
I was a nurse, and I've been a nurse for, what, 10, 15 years before I joined. So,
Well, that's MOS, but why did you choose the Army?
I don't know. Most of my family was in the Army. I had a couple of Navy people, but the majority of people were in the Army. Gotcha. And I was raised in Hopkinsville, which is 14 miles from Fort Campbell. So I've been around Army life all my life.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is that where you were when you enlisted? Where were you when you enlisted?
In Lexington.
Uh-huh. And so you just went and signed your paperwork there. Where was basic training?
San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, in Texas?
Yeah. I went in direct commission.
As an officer?
Yes.
Wow.
Went
Okay.
in as a first lieutenant.
All right. All right. Good. Good for you. Yeah.
So I went to OBC in San Antonio.
OBC?
Yeah, Officer Basic Course.
Okay. That's the first time I ever heard of that acronym.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Really?
Yep. OBC.
Wow.
I've heard of OTC, Officer Training, OTS.
Right, yeah.
And
that's going from enlisted to officer, right?
Nope.
No?
Nope. That's straight out of college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was Air Force. I never heard of OBC.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just different acronyms for Army, Air Force.
Right, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You recall your first days in service?
My first days in the service?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was basic training like?
It was crazy. Even as an officer, to me, it was kind of different because you have all these sergeants yelling at you and telling you where to go and when to go and how to move and when to move. But I was fortunate in that my roommate was a ROTC graduate.
Yeah.
So I had someone that knew what was supposed to be going on, and she helped me through it. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember any of your instructors?
No, not really. I mean, I don't remember their names, but I remember a couple of the cadres, yeah.
Okay.
We had some that were really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
How long were you in basic training?
It was 9 weeks.
Okay, in San Antonio, and then where'd you go?
Fort Benning, Georgia.
For your tech school?
No, Fort Benning, Georgia is an assignment. I was assigned to the ICU step down.
So what was your MOS?
Just 66 Hotel, which is what every nurse is.
Gotcha.
And I had a course guarantee to go to the ICU course, which would have given me a 66A, I think is what.
What is ICU?
Intensive care unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah. So then I changed my mind after working in the step-down unit for about 6 months. I decided that wasn't what I wanted to do.
Oh.
So I went to the OR course.
Oh.
Back then it was called a perioperative course.
Okay.
To be an OR nurse.
What does OR mean in that acronym?
Operating room nurse.
Okay, because I was getting ready to say operational readiness.
No, operating room. So surgical nurse, basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did that from 1991 until I got out in 99.
Got it. Okay. Oh, all right.
So I was active duty from 89 to 99.
Uh-huh. And so where did you go?
I went to
physically?
Fort Bliss, Texas is where I took my training for the OR nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back to Fort Benning and stayed there for 6 years. And then I went to Fort Knox.
Okay, and Fort Benning, that's your first duty station, really, right?
First duty station.
Okay, so did you see, were you yourself ever service-related injured, or did you see a lot of casualties, or?
I had a service-related injury because I fell in the OR. Huh. So that's what made that a service-related injury.
Right.
But not from combat. My actual unit that I was assigned to went to Saudi Arabia for Desert Storm. But because I was in school, I went to Fort Bliss and went to school, and when I came back, I was actually the only active duty nurse at Fort Benning in the OR. The rest of the OR was reservists that came in to fill in, to backfill.
Okay.
Because I was in the second MASH.
Okay.
That went over to Saudi Arabia.
So you went?
I didn't go.
You didn't go?
Because I went to school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
I was in during Desert Storm, but I didn't deploy.
So again, did you see a lot of casualties come back?
Yeah, we had quite a few. We did a lot of orthopedic stuff and basically that. We didn't do a lot of plastics, so I didn't see any of that. But we had some orthopedic things.
I don't know what that means. Plastic. What does this mean?
Plastic is like people with facial injuries or whatever that would come back and have surgery. Yeah.
They went someplace different?
Yeah, they went to other hospitals like BAMSI.
That specialized in that?
Yes, that specialized in that kind of surgery.
Right, okay. Okay, so you say you were there for 6 years?
Yeah,
right.
I was in Benin about 6 years.
Up to that point, as far as your supplies and your regular needs, is everything pretty accessible, everything that you needed?
Oh yeah.
How was the food, basic training to Fort Benning? How was the food?
It was fine.
Everything was fine?
Everything was good, yeah.
Okay. So,
because I eventually moved to own post housing. I didn't stay in the barracks.
So you were home cooking?
Stuff. Yeah. My mama was living with me, so I had some real home cooking.
You were cheating?
I was cheating, yes.
That wasn't fair at all.
Yeah, I didn't have to go through those. At Fort Bliss, and I've actually been really lucky. Every time I've been in the field,
right,
we've had decent food. A few times we've had to eat the MREs,
right,
but a lot of the times when I was out in the field,
right, we
would have cooked breakfasts, MREs for lunch. And then when we got back in the afternoons, we'd go to the dining facility and have real meals. So,
okay.
Yeah, so we were pretty lucky.
Right.
Pretty lucky.
Good. Okay, good.
How you doing, Mike? Merry Christmas.
Okay, so you never saw any combat?
No.
You never a prisoner of war?
No.
Good.
No, thank goodness.
Okay. How about so where'd you go after Fort Benning?
I was at Fort Benning twice, actually. I went to Fort Benning in '89, and when I first joined, and then I went back to Fort Benning in 2009. So I started my career at Fort Benning as a lieutenant. 20 years later, I went back as a lieutenant colonel and worked in the same OR, and some of the same people were still there.
Okay, okay, okay.
As a matter of fact, my old boss, who was Major West, was Mr. West and my employee when I went back.
Okay. Okay.
So it's kind of interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone. Huh?
Yeah, he told me, he said, now you see what kind of headaches y'all gave me now that you have the same headaches that you're in charge. I was like, oh, okay.
Payback, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you did. Well, I'm still at Fort Benning 6 years. Mm-hmm. Where'd you go after that? After that 6 years?
I went to Fort Knox.
Knox. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Fort Knox.
In Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. And
trying to get closer to home.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So what'd you do there?
OR nurse.
Okay. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Same thing.
And how was the couple of same questions really?
Yeah.
Casualties, injuries?
Not a lot of casualties. We had injuries just from like it's an armor post.
Okay.
So with the vehicles.
Right.
So you have a lot of soldier injuries just from on CONUS. Not related to combat.
Gotcha.
But just injuries like, wheels falling on people's legs and breaking them and us having to sew those back.
Right.
And people losing a finger and having to try to reattach that. Just those kind of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that was enough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Don't like that blood and gore.
I understand, believe me. That's your job. Anyway, were you awarded any medals or citations?
I have 2 or 3 AAMs and 2 or 3 Army Achievement Medals, and then I have 2 or 3 Army Commendation Medals.
Okay. Okay.
Well. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okie doke. How'd you stay in touch? Well, we already know the answer to this. Mm-hmm. How'd you stay in touch with your me at home with me?
Yeah, Mom at home with me.
Cheating.
And and Skype. We use Skype.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Skype, cell phones.
You have siblings?
Yes.
And you stayed in touch with them like that?
Yes.
Communication, you kept communicating. So it was you and Mom saying hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. While you were having home cooked meals?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
With my 2 kids.
Cheating.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you have two children,
I have
huh?
2 children,
Okay.
yes. Yeah.
Did you feel a lot of pressure or stress during your active duty career?
No, not really, because I'm a nurse.
Yeah.
And a nurse is a nurse is a nurse. Whether you're an Army nurse or a civilian nurse, you do the same thing.
Right.
And the one thing I learned about the Army is that if you have people that stress you out or get on your nerves, either you will transfer or they will. So you just ride it out.
I think I understand that concept. Okay. Speaking of, okay, we said active duty. Now, how long have you been in the reserve?
Since 1999.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is, what is that? 13 years. Mm-hmm. Okay. So 13, yeah. So what has that been like? When you separated,
Mm-hmm.
when you separated, what happened? What was the feeling when you separated from active duty? And let's just be a civilian for 5 minutes, okay?
Yeah.
Totally. Where were you when you separated?
I was at Fort Knox, and I'd always wanted to live in Florida.
Oh.
So, and when you get out of the Army from active duty, Florida was my home of residence, so the Army moved me back to Florida. So it was pretty good.
Okay.
And then I just went straight into the reserves. So I got out of the Army January 1st, and
Right.
I joined the reserves
Uh-huh.
January 1st, 1999. So
Right.
I never really left military service. I went from being a 365-day soldier.
All right. Okay. So what did you do when you got in civilian life now? What did you do when you came out? Did you use your GI Bill?
No, I never used it. I still need to figure it out. I think I'm going to get a master's degree. I just have a bachelor's in nursing.
Right.
So I think I'm going to get me a master's degree. So I still have access to use it, but I haven't used it as of yet.
Okay.
And so I just got out and took a little time off and enjoyed the family and enjoyed being in Florida. And then I just started working a regular civilian job.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and what was that job?
I did some home health when I first got out of the military.
Off of active duty?
Off of active duty. And also did a little dabbling in real estate with my son.
Oh.
So I did that for a while. And then I got a job at the VA, and I've been here since 2002.
Okay. All right. Okay, so what has the reserve been like these last 13 years? You probably, haven't you deployed a couple of times?
Yeah,
every year?
I've deployed a couple of times.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And where did you go?
I went back to the same places I'd already been. My first deployment was in 2008, and I went to Fort Bliss, which is where I took my OR training.
Yeah.
Some of the same people were still working there too. And then my second deployment was in 2009, and I went to Fort Benning. So I went back to the same places that I had been.
Don't you go away somewhere different every year?
Yes, we do the annual training, which is a 2 to 3 week training that we do. So I've been to Fort Polk, Louisiana. Fort Polk, Louisiana. That's our nickname for it. We actually call it Fort Puke.
Yes, jokes. Okay,
No,
good.
that's the truth. That's what we call it.
That bad, huh?
Yeah, Fort Puke, Louisiana is what we usually call it.
Right.
But it's Fort Polk, Louisiana.
Right.
Been back to San Antonio.
What was so bad about,
It's in the middle of nowhere.
right?
And usually when you go to Fort Polk, you go to JRTC, which is true Army games.
Okay.
So they lock you down, you live in tents, and that's the time when you don't get no food.
Oh,
You eat MREs the whole time.
period. That's
yeah,
it.
Yeah, period. So, yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of and it's real trying because they actually play war games. And you have to think, not like a nurse, but like a soldier. Because they always tell us by virtue of our rank, if the captain out there that's a grunt gets killed,
Yeah.
and you're a captain or a major as a nurse, you may end up having to just take over
Fill
because
in.
you're an officer.
Right.
But you're still a soldier.
Right.
So, yeah, so those are kind of in depth. But then a lot of times when we go to the field, it's nice assignments. So you
Right.
go and you do class work, and you go through simulations, and so,
Okay.
yeah. So I've had all of the experiences.
I want to hear about all the places that you've traveled, period, because, well, while you were in the service, plus your reserve, tell me all the places you've been. Besides ones that you've already mentioned.
Yeah. Well, the one place that I went was really interesting. When I was at Fort Benning, I went on a 6-month assignment to Honduras.
Oh,
That was pretty cool.
what was that all about?
Sotacano. We have a joint services operation there.
Right.
And I went as an OR nurse. So we operated out of an ISO, which is a metal tent
Right.
that they put up, and they put an OR. You have an OR bed inside that tent.
Okay.
And you, well, a case, cubicle. And we operated on Hondurans, mostly.
Really?
Every once in a while, we have an American that maybe had a appendicitis or say a broken bone that we'd have to, to put back together. But
Right.
most of them were the Hondurans that had been chopped up with the machetes and that kind of stuff. Yeah. They did a lot of reconstructive stuff too, a lot of humanitarian
Right.
things when we were there.
For kids or adults
yeah,
or everybody?
we had some kids. We had a little boy that had an injury, and we operated on him like 2 or 3 times just to try to restore him so that he could actually walk. So yeah, that was interesting. Went to Fort Leavenworth to a class. That was nice. That was really nice because they got the Buffalo Soldier Museum there.
Oh,
We got
okay.
to do a lot of, and it's right next to Kansas. So we got to go to Kansas City. So that was pretty good. And I've been to Fort Sam a couple of times because a lot of our training as medical people is at Fort Sam. You keep going back to Fort Sam. So,
Right.
and I don't think I've been anywhere else other than those places. I went to Camp Shelby, Mississippi. That was different.
Okay.
Went there this year.
What was that about?
My unit is deployed down there right now.
Oh, really?
For a year.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't get to go with them because I was going to get out. I was going to retire because I'll be 60 next year.
Okay.
But I got picked up for colonel. So that gives me a 3-year extension.
Right.
So now that I'm not going to get out, I'm just looking.
Line and paragraph number?
Yes.
What does this mean?
In order to get promoted,
Yeah.
you have to have a slot to sit in. And I need and that's called a line. And then you get a paragraph number that designates a 06 position.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for right now, so that I can pin it on.
Okay. Oh, all right.
Yeah, my name came out on the list, but I can't pin it on until I get a position.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been in the reserve again one more time for 13 years. And you're going to the same places almost every year? Where else have you been when you're in the reserve? Have you been overseas at
We
all?
went to just to Honduras. We went to Camp Park, California one year. Yeah.
What'd you do
That
there?
was interesting. We did a lot of the simulated training. A lot of we had the dummies like the Resuscitation.
Right.
But these are more advanced dummies that, you push on them and you get a heart rate over here.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually start IVs and see the blood going through. And, yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah. You'd have to be in the medical field to enjoy that.
You appreciate it. I'm not.
And then we did a lot of stuff with the moulage. So, you have the actual, looks like a wound. It's like makeup.
Right.
But it actually looks like a real wound.
Hollywood.
It looks like the bones coming up out of the flesh, and so you get to go and do bandages and slings, and it's fun for us.
Yeah,
I know you looking at me
your
like
world.
you're looking at me like, oh,
It's your world.
But that's the way we train.
No, and I understand. Believe me, it's got to be
Yeah.
like you're saying, real life simulation.
Yeah,
Believe me.
So you learn how to put tourniquets on to keep people from losing a limb, and
Right.
they show us all of the new things that they have while the soldiers are living longer now.
Right.
Back in the day, people would get a broken bone and they would bleed. Half of them would bleed to death. Well, they got this little stuff now you sprinkle on and it clots.
Stops. Oh, okay.
So you get to play with a lot of that new technology. So
okay.
it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always a constant learning experience, learning
It
new
is.
things.
Yeah.
Technology has probably brought a lot of new things to the table and continues to do that.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. When you're on active duty, how did people entertain themselves?
They have officers clubs,
Right.
and you do whatever is on the economy wherever you live. You go to the movies there, you go to the shows.
Right.
And we always, being in the military, you always get your training holidays, so you usually always have a weekend where that you can. When I was in Columbus at Fort Benning,
Right.
I went to Atlanta during the week, a lot of times on the weekend,
Oh, okay.
because it's just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right.
And in Fort Knox, you go to Louisville, Kentucky, because there's nothing to do really in the Elizabethtown. It's a dry county,
What?
It's a dry county.
Oh.
Yeah, so there's nothing to do. There's no clubs or anything.
Right.
So,
Gotcha.
yeah, and then you'd go to church and have those kinds of organizations as well.
Okay. When you went on leave on active duty, where'd you go?
Sometimes I had a sister that lived in Florida. I'd go to Florida.
Right.
I had a sister who lived in Chicago, so I'd go to Chicago. I always go to places where there's family. I used to go to the Essence Festival and a lot. It's just different things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Tell me 2 of your most memorable occurrences on active duty.
One of them would be when I actually got promoted to major. 'Cause you just think you're around and you advance, but then sometimes you like, when am I ever gonna get this promotion? So that was, you know,
Like that.
yeah, it was memorable.
Right.
And going to Honduras, I think, was very, very enlightening, because you ride to Tegucigalpa, and when you're going, which is the capital,
Right.
and just riding down the road and seeing all of those little people living in those huts, and the kids running out to the car. We used to throw them candy and stuff as we would drive by, but it's just to see how some people actually live, you know, the poverty level is just amazing. So that was very, very enlightening.
Opened your eyes to the world. See that
Yes.
there's more to the world than what you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Broadens your horizons. Okay, did you keep a diary?
No,
Okay.
no, never have.
Speaking of officers, in your case, what did you think of your fellow officers and enlisted? So your peers and enlisted?
Most of the people that I've worked with during my career have been very good officers. They treat each other well.
Right.
They treat the enlisted well.
Right.
And all of the enlisted people that I've worked with have been excellent, because I've always been I've always felt that you're only as good as the people you work with. I don't say the people that work for me, but the people that work with me.
Right.
And I always got along with the enlisted. As a matter of fact, I got an award at Fort Knox for being the officer that re-enlisted the most enlisted soldiers.
Well,
Yeah, for that year.
and
Yeah.
you weren't in recruitment,
No.
but you
They just respected me, and whenever they got ready to get re-enlisted, they would have me come and sign their paperwork and
Fantastic.
read them their.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I was proud of that. I thought I was,
That was
like,
out of your MOS realm?
Yeah, it was. But I was also an EO officer when I was on active duty. So
EO?
Equal opportunity. Yeah. Well, yeah, so.
You would
It was
get the
kinda-
complaints?
Yeah, we had, I worked in the office with the EO advisors, so we would get the complaints and deal with the complaints, and we didn't have that many. We were fortunate in that, but
Right.
yeah. So a lot of the enlisted soldiers got to interact with me, and you know, and knew me. So
Okay, so we covered the school piece. I know you did. You made a lot of close friendships,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure you continue these friendships today, right? And for how long? How long is your longest one? Can you think back and remember some of your very early friends going into service that you've maintained relationship with all these years?
Yeah, I've got a few of them. It's just, we just keep in touch.
Okay.
And one of my girlfriends is from Mobile, so I go down and go to Mardi Gras with her.
Okay.
You know, and one of my girlfriends is, she's actually moved down here, so she was working here at this VA for a while. So you kind of run into people.
Right.
You know. But yeah, we
Okay.
keep in touch. I guess I know people from my very first duty station still. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
meant. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Belong to any veterans organizations? I mean, you're still active reserve, I understand. I mean, like VFW or Women's Veterans of America, anything like that.
Yeah, I'd go to the MOA.
What is that?
And you would ask me that. I'm a member of the ROA too, Retired Officers Association.
Okay.
And the other one is, we meet, I haven't been in a while because they have their meetings the same time as I have drill.
Oh.
But it's the retired, not retired, I got a brain freeze. I cannot think of it because it's MOA. But it's the officers that's,
Okay, so you belong to a couple of officers
I belong
associated
to a couple of them.
that are military related.
And we go to the VFW all the time. I just never joined. And the American Legion too.
Gotcha.
I do a lot of stuff with the Legion here in Florida.
Okay.
But I didn't join.
So you go to reunions and things like that?
What? Class reunions?
No, not class reunions. Military reunions.
Military reunions? No.
Not particularly. No.
I haven't been to a military reunion in forever, but the thing of it is in the reserves, we were in the 324th. They retired that unit.
Right.
And we're in the 369th. And then I'm in the 7217th, but we still all get together, all of us old people. I don't know if you could call it a reunion.
Yeah.
Last year we had like a Christmas party that people from the 324th, the 369th, we all got together.
I think you would consider that to be a reunion.
Okay.
Which is fine.
Yeah, then we kind of do.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You just create your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so last few questions here. Did your military experience, which you're still having, influence your thinking about war or about the military in general?
Yeah, because I think it enlightens you because everybody keeps talking about we're gonna pull out of the war, and I'm like, we're gonna pull out of the war, but every war you pull out of, you leave a contingency group there.
Yeah.
There's still people in Korea.
Yeah.
There's still people in Germany.
Right.
How long ago did we fight those wars?
Right.
So it's not like we're gonna leave Afghanistan and we're gonna be gone.
Right.
Somebody gonna stay. So you learn that kind of stuff from being in the military.
Right.
You learn what really goes on, and you have more of a understanding when you see the news of what's really happening than the people that just hear what the reporters are saying.
Right.
We kind of know what's really going on, not just what they say is going on.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay. And the other part of that question is, how did your service and experiences affect your life? And it's still affecting. So what is the impact that it's had on your life?
I think it's been a positive impact because it helps you to grow as an individual. As officers, you progress from being the role of a first lieutenant to the captain, to the major, to the colonel.
Right.
You get the respect that goes along with the rank. People in the community respect you. My kids respect the fact that I'm in the military.
Right.
So it's been a positive experience. It's been a positive experience.
Do you think we left anything out? Have we covered everything?
I think so.
Is there anything that you feel like you want to expound on, or?
No, I feel blessed to have been in the military for the time that I've been in because I've met a lot of wonderful people and had good experiences. So it's all been positive for me.
Okay.
So, yeah, 23 years going on 24, so it couldn't be too bad.
Congratulations.
I'm still here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Colonel.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, well, I want to thank you for your service, which has not been discontinued, number one. And number two, thank you very much for the interview.
Oh, well, you're very welcome.
I really appreciate it. We do. Okay. And you will be getting a copy.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'll have a copy for you next week.
Okay.
And a copy will be shipped off to the library for posterity. Your grandkids and great-grands will be able to go up there and visit and bring it up and say, that was my great-grandmother. That's right, I'm serious.
Wow.
It will be there in the archive in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
Okay?